And what about you? And on the ramp today we have a 2014 Seat Ibiza Mark IV, and believe it or not, this car has been in a crash. So there was no body damage to this car. The guy was lucky enough, and he's hit a curb basically. So he's hit a traffic island which has bent that alloy a bit, and he called somebody out, and at the roadside there's no spare wheel with this car. He got a new tyre fitted, and when the car came to me, the rear tyre was also gashed. He managed to put a gash in it as well. So we've got a tyre fitted over here, and that wheel is ready to go on. The back, so I'll just show you in a wee second what we'll have done here. We have the console removed, and there you go. So I'll just run through what the crack is here. I'll get this wheel fitted, and then we'll take her off the ramp and explain what's going on. Okay, rear wheel's back on again. So take you inside here. I'll show you what the crack is. We have a side airbag deployment, and that has come out of the side of the seat there. And when the car came to me, the seatbelt had pulled in, so the pre-tensioner on the seatbelt had deployed. And yeah, you couldn't have put it around yourself. So I've got it sort of working again, but it has, the squib has activated in that. So yeah, so the center console is removed, and I'm going to tell you what the reason for that. I'm going to take that airbag module out. That's the airbag module, and this is the center console. And in behind here, in behind the heater, is where the airbag lives, and that is, if I can shoot, get my hand out of the way, that is the connector that connects onto the airbag. If it'll come out here, wait a minute, there we go. And I have it all taped up. So that's the airbag connector for the module that sat in there. So I'm going to tell you why I did that, and why that's all taped up. When this car came to me, it had the steering wheel, the steering module light was on, and then clearly we've still got the airbag light on because the module's disconnected, and there has been a deployment. But whenever the car recognised that it was in a crash, it disabled the power steering. So the steering was heavy, and there was a fault showing in the steering module. So that's what it does. It disables the power steering. So the guy thought he had wrecked the steering in some way or whatever. But I says, well, it may not be the case, that it's just basically stored crash data. And I thought it was just interesting getting rid of that crash data in the steering module. Now, I can't with a scan tool get rid of the crash data that's in the airbag module. That will involve an EEPROM erase. So that's why the airbag module is out. But now that I have the module disconnected down there, I'm able to get the power steering back. So that's working great. When this car came to me at first, I'll just knock the engine off. So that the steering wheel, the steering light was on there. That one, the round one there, as well as the airbag module, and the steering was heavy. There was no steering assist. So we've pulled the console out to take the airbag module out and permanently disconnect it. And this is a temporary thing. This is only a temporary fix for the moment until we get a new seat belt, and, or well, maybe not a new one, but a replacement one that has not been in a deployment. And then we need to get the crash data erased, and that'll get the airbag light off. That'll get the airbag situation resolved. So hopefully, but for the moment, what we'll have is a driving car. So for a matter of interest, I tried a couple of scan tools to get this power steering back up and running again, and the only thing, well, the thing that actually worked was that boy there. So I'm going to show you some fault codes here, and these fault codes are when I had the airbag module disconnected. So clearly we're going to see no communication with the airbag module, but we already know that the seat and the seat belt has activated, so they're obviously going to be flagged as faults, but we know that, so we're not really interested in that. So we're just trying to get the steering back so we can get this car driving again, albeit in a temporary state. So first I did a scan with the snap on here, and these are done with the module disconnected, with the module out. But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get the power steering working again. And as we can see, we have no signal, no communication from the airbag ECU, but we have a crash signal in the steering assist module. As a wee close up of that, we'll just scroll down the screen a wee bit just to see, and there we go. Number 44 is the steering assist, and we can see the crash signal there. That's also logging that there's no communication with the airbag ECU as well. I attempted to delete those codes in the steering assist module with a snap on, and those codes just came back. It didn't erase anything. So then we went on to the VCDS, and we got the same codes basically. So we'll scroll down again here from that scan with the VCDS, and no communications with the airbag control module as expected, because it's not present, it's disconnected at this stage. And we'll have a wee look to see if we get something similar from the steering assist. So it's on down a wee bit yet. There's airbags cannot be reached, and let me see, where are we? No communication with the airbags. Yeah. So there's our number 44 steering assist, and there we go, crash signal, and it's logging the control module for the airbag. So those two talk to each other, and that's why the power steering is disabled. And the VCDS with the Hex 2 interface erased the crash signal from the steering assist, and we restored the power steering, so the vehicle's driving again. The crash data that's stored in the EEPROM of the airbag module is sending the crash signal to the power steering assist. So that's the reason why I have this disconnected, and that gives me a chance then to erase the crash signal in the power steering. So the VCDS proved that we can erase that, but as I said before, we can't erase the crash data that's stored in this erasable programmable read-only memory in here. So that needs to be erased or replaced and then coded to the vehicle. This one here is coded to the vehicle, so I think the easiest way is get this one erased, and then we can reuse this module. And yeah, they're about 300 quid or something to buy from the Volkswagen Group. So by far the most economical way is we'll get this sorted out, this EEPROM, hopefully. And as I say, that talks to the steering module, so that is saying the fact that there's been a crash, and yeah, so that's why we have this disconnected. So it was quite a high curb the guy hit. It was like a traffic end in the middle of the road, and he managed to blow his front and rear tire on the driver's side, both tires, and he has a pretty severe bend in the front alloy, and the rear alloy is, you can see where he's hit the curb as well. There's a dent in it, and it's not as bad. I don't think the front alloy will do, but it's holding air pressure at the minute. And yeah, so far so good. So the car's driving, it drives pretty straight, and well, it drives dead on. The steering wheel seat was very surprising. I thought for sure he would have had a bent track rod end or something like that, but it's driving dead on. Steering wheel's in the centre, and he's back on the road, albeit he has an airbag light on. And as if by magic, car's back there again. And I took it for a wee drive there, and it's actually not driving too bad. I was pretty amazed at that. I thought for sure it would have needed alignment at the very least, but it's not driving too bad. So the car's driving normally, power steering's working, and all we have is the airbag light is on, and we can actually use the seatbelt. I had the seatbelt removed and give it a bit of a shake about. It rattles. You know when the seatbelt has been deployed, pre-tensioned. The pre-tensioner goes. If you give it a shake, it rattles like a child's rattle. But I managed to get it so we can put it on, and it's locking whenever I give it a pull. So yeah, so I'm gonna, until the guy gets a replacement seat from a breakers or something, and we'll get that crash data removed. I'm gonna outsource that and get that done. And we need a replacement seatbelt, which is proven tricky, I must say, at this stage of the game. So the punter, the owner, is going to do a bit of research himself for that and try and save himself a bit of money. I have priced it. The seatbelt is the guts of 300 quid in TPS. So he doesn't want to pay that. So it's up to him to source that, and we'll get those parts in again. Rip that console out. It takes about half an hour to do that, if that, and plug the wee module back in again. And until then, that'll get the airbag light out. So the only warning we'll have in the dash at the minute is there's an airbag light on constantly, because there's no airbag module in it. So there you go. We'll maybe do a wee update video later on or whatever, but I think that's enough to go on for the moment. The main thing is that the snap-on wouldn't clear the code for the steering, but the VCDS with a Hex 2 lead did, no problem, and that's the takeaway here. And there you go. So, okay, all the best. Thanks for watching. As ever, I don't know who that by here is. Guy's a creator that owns this car. And bye-bye.